Today I'm going to show you how to deploy a quick working demo of BIG-IP VE running in AWS. At the end of this video, you'll have your own little environment complete with a working web application and traffic going through BIG-IP, and all you need is an AWS account. If you have little to no cloud experience, this video is for you. And if you do have cloud experience but not with BIG-IP in the cloud, that's great too. So to start, I want you to know about 3 types of templates that the F5 Cloud Solutions team provides. If you go to github.com/F5networks, there's a folder there called F5 AWS CloudFormation. And then in various subfolders, there's a variety of templates you can use to deploy BIG-IP in AWS. So the first type of template is called an existing stack. This assumes you already have resources in AWS and you just want to add a BIG-IP to your environment. This also has an external IP address so you can access BIG-IP to manage it. The second type of template is called production stack. It's also meant for when you have existing resources in AWS. This just doesn't have a public IP address, so you need to create a VPN or jump box to connect. And finally, we have a learning stack. This is what I'm going to show you today. Basically, in this case, you just deploy everything from scratch, and you don't need to have had anything in AWS before. There is one other prerequisite, which is that you need a key pair in AWS, and there are instructions in the YouTube notes on how to create a key pair, or you can just Google it. So in GitHub, I'm going to go to AWS CloudFormation, Experimental Learning Stacks, Standalone, and one NIC. I'm going to copy the hourly single NIC template. I click Raw, and then I copy everything, and now I'm going to paste it into a file that I just saved with the .template extension. Now, one last thing, you're only going to have to do this one time, but before you deploy, you have to go into the AWS Marketplace and accept the software licensing agreement. This button moves around a little bit depending on how AWS redoes their site, but here's a current example of what it looks like, and if you don't do this, the template will error out after it's been working for a while, so you'll see an error message about accepting the terms, so do this if you haven't done it. It's a one-time thing. Now I'm going to go deploy the template. I choose CloudFormation and I pick my template file. And then when I fill out the form, the stack name is going to be appended to all the resources that are created. And then a few other things is just that the management port BIG-IP will be accessible via 8443. And for the source address fields, you should restrict them to IP addresses on your network because that's who's going to be able to access the BIG-IP and the web server. But for demo, I'm going to leave them wide open. And then this is going to take about 10 to 15 minutes. When it's done, it'll say complete. And now I want to take a look and see what it's created. So I can see it's created a virtual private cloud, or VPC, with a single subnet. And then I can look, it has 3 different security groups that are used to give access to the BIG-IP and then to the web server. And then it also created 2 instances, one of BIG-IP and then one of a web server. If I look at the BIG-IP, it assigned it an elastic IP address, which is a publicly facing IP address that stays assigned to my instance even after I reboot it. This is a very simple deployment, so the same NIC is used for traffic and to manage BIG-IP, so I'm going to use this elastic IP to connect to both. So to connect to the web server, I use the IP address with port 80, and it gives me a simple demo web page that we created for you. Now, if I want to log into BIG-IP, I use SSH to connect and set the admin password. And then I can log in and look around. So you can see the NIC, the VLAN, the pool, the virtual server, and you can do pretty much whatever you want. It's all yours now in your demo environment. Now when you're done, good procedure so that you don't get charged and so you keep your environment clean is to delete everything that you created. And to make sure you got everything, just come here, go to CloudFormation, select your stack, and then choose Actions Delete Stack. When it's done, the stack will disappear from the list and all the related resources, the instances get terminated, security groups get deleted, VPC gets deleted, and you're all back to square one. To get started creating your own demo, head over to GitHub and deploy one of the Learning Stack templates. There are more advanced ones for multiple NICs and other advanced configurations. You can use these templates to impress your friends and family, and not to mention your coworkers. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.